Creation of the world, Genesis 1 verses 1 to 31, 2:1-3 KJV. In the very beginning, before there was anything else, God created the heavens and the earth. At first, the earth had no shape and was completely empty, and darkness covered everything. But God was there, and His Spirit was moving over the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And suddenly, there was light. God saw that the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. This was the very first day. On the second day, God said, "Let there be a space to separate the waters above from the waters below." And so, God made the sky. He called this space heaven. This was the second day. Next, on the third day, God said, "Let the waters under the sky come together in one place, and let dry land appear." And it happened just as He said. God called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters seas. Then God said, "Let the earth grow grass, plants, and trees that have seeds and fruits." The earth became green with grass, colorful with flowers, and full of trees with fruits. God saw that it was good. This was the third day. On the fourth day, God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate the day from the night. These lights will also show the seasons, days, and years." So, God made the bright sun to shine during the day, and the moon and stars to twinkle at night. God saw that this was good. This was the fourth day. Then, on the fifth day, God said, "Let the waters be filled with living creatures, and let birds fly in the sky." God created big sea animals like whales and many kinds of fish to swim in the seas. He also made all sorts of birds to fly in the sky. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply." And God saw that it was good. This was the fifth day. On the sixth day, God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, animals, big and small, that move on the ground." And it happened just as He said. God made all sorts of animals, lions, elephants, sheep, dogs, and even the tiny ants. God saw that this was good. Then God said, "Let us make humans in our image, to be like us. They will rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals on earth." So, God created humans. He made them in His image, like a reflection of Himself. He created both a man and a woman. God blessed them and told them, "Have children and fill the earth. Take care of it and rule over the fish, the birds, and all the animals." God also said, "I give you every plant with seeds and every tree with fruit for food, and I give every green plant to all the animals for food." And it was so. God looked at everything He had made, and it was very good. This was the sixth day. By the seventh day, God's work was finished. He had made the world, the sky, the seas, the plants, the animals, and humans. So, on the seventh day, God rested. He blessed this day and made it special because it was the day He rested from all His work. And that is how God created the world, in 7 days, filling it with light, life, and love. If this is your first time of watching my video, I want to encourage you to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, turn on a bell notification button so that YouTube will send you notification when I post the next video. The story of Adam and Eve. Genesis 2 verses 7 to 25, creation of Adam and Eve. In the very beginning, before there were any people on earth, God made the first man. His name was Adam. God made Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him. Adam became alive. God looked at Adam with love and said, "I will make a beautiful garden for Adam to live in. I will call it the Garden of Eden." The Garden of Eden was a wonderful place. It had tall, green trees, colorful flowers, and all kinds of delicious fruits to eat. In the middle of the garden, there were 2 special trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God said to Adam, "You can eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from this tree, you will die." Adam listened to God and understood. But God noticed something important. It is not good for Adam to be alone, God thought. I will make him a friend. So, God made Adam fall into a deep sleep. While Adam was sleeping, God took one of Adam's ribs and created a woman. When Adam woke up, he saw her and was filled with happiness. Adam smiled and said, "She is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. I will call her Eve because she is my partner." Adam and Eve lived happily in the Garden of Eden. They took care of the plants and the animals and enjoyed everything around them. They were naked but felt no shame because they were innocent like little children. One day, a sneaky snake, called a serpent, came to Eve. The serpent whispered to Eve, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve shook her head and replied, "No, we may eat from the trees in the garden. But God said, you must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, or even touch it, or you will die." With a sly smile, the serpent said, "You will not surely die. God knows that if you eat from that tree, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like him, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the tree. The fruit looked so tasty and beautiful. She thought it might make her wise. So she took some fruit and ate it. She gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. Suddenly, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened, and they realized they were naked. They felt embarrassed and quickly sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Later, they heard God walking in the garden. "Adam, where are you?" God called out. Adam, hiding behind a tree, said, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God, with concern, asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam pointed to Eve and said, "The woman you gave to be with me. She gave me the fruit, and I ate it." God turned to Eve and asked, "What have you done, Eve?" Eve pointed to the serpent and said, "The serpent tricked me, and I ate." God was very sad. He spoke to the serpent first, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all animals. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all your life." Then God spoke to Eve, "Because you disobeyed, you will have pain when you have children, and you will want your husband to be your leader." Finally, God spoke to Adam, "Because you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, the ground is now cursed. You will have to work very hard all your life to get food. And one day, you will return to the ground because from dust you were made, and to dust you will return." Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all living people. God made clothes from animal skins to cover Adam and Eve. Then God said, "Now that they know good and evil, they must not eat from the tree of life and live forever." So God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which Adam was made, to guard the garden and the tree of life. God placed angels called cherubim and a flaming sword that moved in all directions. And that is how Adam and Eve began their life outside the garden, learning to work hard and live with the choices they made. And that's the story of Adam and Eve. The story of Cain and Abel, Genesis 4 verses 1 to 16. A long time ago, there was a man named Adam and his wife Eve. They had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was the older brother, and he grew plants and vegetables. Abel was the younger brother, and he took care of sheep. One day, both brothers decided to give a special gift to God. Cain brought some fruits and vegetables from his garden. Abel brought the best, fattest sheep from his flock. God liked Abel's gift very much, but he didn't like Cain's gift as much. This made Cain very sad and angry. He was upset because he felt his gift wasn't good enough. God noticed Cain was upset and asked him why. He told Cain that if he did what was right, he would be happy. But if he did not, bad things could happen. Instead of listening to God, Cain became even more angry. He took Abel out into a field and hurt him badly. Abel died. When God asked Cain where Abel was, Cain lied and said he didn't know. Then God told Cain that he knew what had happened. He told Cain that Abel's blood was crying out from the ground, and that Cain would be punished. God said that because of what Cain did, the ground would not grow good plants for him anymore. Cain would have to wander around the earth and wouldn't have a home. Cain was very scared and said the punishment was too much for him to bear. He was afraid that people would find him and hurt him. To protect Cain, God put a special mark on him so that no one would harm him. After this, Cain left and went to live in a place called Nod, far away from where he used to live. And that's the story of Cain and Abel, the story of Noah's Ark. Genesis chapter 6. A long, long time ago, people started to have lots and lots of children, and they filled the whole world. But sadly, many of them were not kind or good to each other. They did things that made God very sad because they weren't being nice. One man named Noah was different. He was good and kind. So, God decided to save Noah and his family from a big problem that was coming. He told Noah, "I'm going to send a great flood to wash away all the bad things and start fresh. But you, Noah, and your family will be safe." God told Noah to build a huge boat called an ark. This ark would keep Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives safe. God also told Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal into the ark, 1 boy and 1 girl of each kind. For some animals, like the ones that are clean and safe to eat, Noah had to bring 7 pairs, so there would be lots of them. Noah worked really hard to build the ark, just as God had said. When it was finished, he and his family went inside the ark, and all the animals came in too, just as God had told him. Then it started to rain. It rained and rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The water covered everything, even the tallest mountains. The ark floated on the water, keeping Noah, his family, and all the animals safe. After a long time, the rain stopped and the water began to go down. Noah sent out a raven and then a dove to see if the land was dry yet. The dove came back with a little green leaf, which meant that the water was going away and the land was getting ready for the animals to come out. Finally, the ark came to rest on a mountain, and Noah and his family were able to leave the ark. They stepped out and saw the beautiful world all fresh and new. God made a promise to Noah that he would never again send a flood to cover the whole earth. To remind everyone of this promise, God put a rainbow in the sky. Every time Noah saw the rainbow, he would remember that God was keeping his promise to protect the earth. And so, Noah and his family began to start over, filling the world with new life. And the animals went to live in the forests, fields, and skies. The Tower of Babel. In this passage, I will tell you how humanity, at that time speaking one language, attempted to build a great tower reaching the heavens. However, God intervened, confusing their language and scattering them across the earth, which is how the city came to be called Babel, meaning confusion. In Genesis 11, a long time ago, after the great flood in Noah's time, all the people on earth spoke the same language. This meant that everyone could understand each other and work together very easily. As the people moved from place to place, they found a big flat area called the land of Shinar. They liked this place, so they decided to settle there and build a city. The people said to each other, "Let's make strong bricks and build a very tall tower that reaches all the way up to the sky. This will make us famous, and then we won't be scattered all over the earth." So, the people started working on the tower. They used bricks instead of stones, and they used sticky tar as a kind of glue to hold the bricks together. They worked hard, and the tower began to grow taller and taller. But God, who was watching from heaven, wasn't happy with what they were doing. He saw that the people were becoming proud and wanted to show off their power instead of trusting in him. He also knew that if they all stayed together like this, they would stop spreading across the earth, which was what he wanted them to do. He had told people after the flood to fill the earth, not just stay in one place. So God said, "Look, the people are all united, and they all speak the same language. If they keep working together like this, they'll think they can do anything, even things that aren't good." God decided to stop them. He came down and did something very surprising. He made them all speak different languages. Suddenly, they couldn't understand each other anymore. When one person asked for a brick, the other person didn't know what they were saying. This caused so much confusion that they couldn't keep building the tower. Since they couldn't work together anymore, the people stopped building the tower and began to spread out in groups all over the earth, just like God wanted them to. The city where they started building the tower was called Babel, which means confusion, because it was there that God confused their language. And that's how the people were scattered all over the world and began speaking different languages. The reason God scattered the Tower of Babel God scattered the people at the Tower of Babel because they were becoming proud and disobedient to his plan. After the great flood, God wanted people to spread out across the earth, fill it, and take care of it. But instead of following his command, the people decided to stay in one place and build a tall tower to show how great and powerful they were. They wanted to make a name for themselves, rather than trusting and obeying God. By building the tower, the people were trying to unite in their own strength and pride, thinking they could reach heaven on their own. God saw that if they stayed together and spoke the same language, they would become even more proud and might continue to go against his wishes. So, to stop their prideful plan, God confused their language, making it impossible for them to work together. This caused them to scatter across the earth, which was what he originally wanted them to do. In short, God scattered the people because they were disobeying his plan to spread out over the earth, and they were becoming proud by trying to make themselves famous instead of trusting in him. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time of watching my video, I want to encourage you to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, turn on the bell notification button so that YouTube will send you notification when I post the next video.